Students have not been allowed to return to classes after Australia introduced a travel ban to stop the spread of the virus. Universities Australia is asking the federal government to issue an apology to about 70 students who were detained and questioned at airports just hours after the ban was announced. Joining me now is the Chief Executive, Catriona Jackson. Catriona, why is the apology needed?
Good morning, Laura. Look, let's clear this up absolutely at the start. Yesterday we backed a call from Phil Honeywood, the head of the International Education Association, to issue an apology if it was found that protocols had been breached. I think it's time for us to move on now. Students, I've heard there have been some comments from the Commissioner for the AFP this morning. It seems that most of those issues have now been cleared up. Students have a clear idea of what their status is. Some of them have gone home to China, which is entirely appropriate. Some have remained here. This is a difficult and stressful situation for everyone. What's really important is that as we move forward, we treat these students with exactly the compassion we would expect if it was our children.
Who do you want an apology from exactly? The government or the...
I think we're past that stage,
okay.
Laura, at this stage. We only said if there were protocols breached. I am taking on faith what was said by the AFP Deputy Commissioner this morning, that protocols weren't breached. It is time now for students to make contact with their universities, for us to deal with these students. The 100,000 Chinese students are still outside the country, with as much compassion, clarity and care as we can as they deal with a very frightening and stressful time.
There's obviously not only a health concern, but from your perspective, a public relations concern. Are you picking up that Chinese students are angry at the way they've been treated, and that might jeopardise what is Australia's third largest export?
I haven't picked up that, Laura. I've picked up that they're stressed and they're worried. They're worried about their friends and family at home if they're here. Of course, a large number of students stayed here, didn't go back for Chinese New Year or the break. Of course they're worried. If it was you or it was me, coming from a country where there was a very large contagion outbreak, you'd be worried about your friends and family at home. It's just really important that we deal with these students in the way we'd expect our children to be dealt with. We make sure they have really clear information through as many channels as we can. They're aware of all the different options universities are now offering and have been for the last 2 weeks. Online study, deferral of any penalty if you start in second semester rather than first. Some universities are pushing back the whole start date for the year to make sure we can make it really clear to these students that we want to see them back here really soon as this health emergency is sorted out, as soon as those borders are back open so they can come back in. We can't wait to see them back here.
Has there been any financial repercussions? Has anyone cancelled their university courses? Are you getting reports back?
Look, Laura, it's just too early to say yet what the financial repercussions might be. Students will obviously be thinking about this, but this is not a problem that is isolated to Australia, clearly. The virus is a problem for all university systems who offer international education to Chinese students. So I think we just need to wait and see what the repercussions will be. It's very important for us to make it absolutely clear to these students that we can't wait to see them back as soon as this terrible circumstance is sorted out.
Just quickly and lastly, are there some universities who rely heavily on international students that could be overexposed here?
Laura, we have, as a nation, as a system, we have made a conscious decision to educate the people of our region. China is a very large country, 1.3 billion people. Everywhere they study, they will be represented in substantial numbers. That is absolutely no surprise.
Thanks so much for your time this morning. We will keep a very close eye on that, and I'm sure many students are as well.
Indeed. Thank you.